Welcome to the epicenter of sports and entertainment. This is The Rude Dog Show. Now, here's your host, Rudy Reyes.
Welcome to the Rude Dog Show, everybody. Happy Friday to you. Look, this is Free for All Friday, or April said it best. Go ahead, April. I'll let you say it.
Feels so good Friday.
Well, there you go. It is Friday nonetheless. It's raining here. Maybe in Southern California it's raining as well. And of course, we have Camille on the top left. I don't know. Depends on how you're viewing it. She is April's manager. And so thank you, everybody, for joining. I certainly appreciate it. It's been a while since I interviewed musical talent. And just to give the viewers kind of an idea, I haven't done this since I interviewed Tom Kiefer, former frontman of Cinderella. And that's been a long time ago. And I don't even know if he's still making music. I think he had one more album in addition to that. But this is an untapped resource of being able to interview rock stars and entertainers. And of course, April Diamond, no longer in the rough. She is a shiny and bright diamond here, and brings brightness to whomever listens to her chart-topping music on the Billboard charts. There's a lot of charts, but the chart that matters the most is the one that everybody's paying attention to. So, April, thank you for joining. I certainly appreciate your time as well. I know you have a lot of things going on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Rudy. This is great, and I'm happy to be. Is this the second musical talent you've had on your show?
Actually, no, third. The first one
third.
was Mike Stapp. Not Mike Stapp. I'm thinking of the wrong Mike. It's Mike Tramp, formerly of White Lion. So we had that conversation, and then Altered State. Most people don't even know who the heck they are, but they're out of Southern California in Orange County.
I've heard of Altered State because I'm near. Yeah, I'm up in LA, but I'm familiar with Orange County bands for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And for those that will never know this, and I'm going to say that for the record, I actually had the ability to be a front man, but this is not about me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm bald and all.
Yeah, but I hear it in your voice, though. You have that nice, strong, powerful voice. You could have been definitely in a band.
Yeah, well,
then both of you are both going to go on Nathan Osmond's podcasts here soon too.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
that's I'm looking forward to that one. I really am. And for those that haven't listened to Love the Sound of Your Voice by April Diamond, she's actually found there. I had a chance to watch it from end to end. It's relatively entertaining, but it's really factual. There's a lot of things that most people don't know unless you watch the video about April and how she grew up and what got her into music. So we're going to kind of segue from there, because that video is kind of the entry point in regards to your career, where it started. If you tell all the listeners and viewers a little bit more about that would be great. So that way they can get to know you a little bit more, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I started as a wee little girl singing in church from my grandmother's, sing. I told you to sing. So, my grandmother was relentless, and she got me behind the microphone at a young age, and I sang as a little girl, 8 years old, and from there it just continued, and I sang all through school, and I wound up getting a degree in college for vocal performance, and all the while I was exploring music, writing songs, singing in musicals, et cetera, et cetera. I met my producer, and that's kind of the speedy version of it. But the interesting thing is that when I was in college, people were asking me to give them voice lessons. And so I was like, oh, okay. You mean make money? That's great. Because, starving college student, all that. And it became a profession. Like I became a full-time voice coach, and about the same time as when I met my producer. So I was full-time training and then doing, singing backgrounds on other artists' records and doing some other things. And he's like, well, let's make your record. And so things sort of came from that. But as far as the vocal coaching, I've always done that, in the process of, working on these records and doing concerts and recordings and that kind of thing. But what I've found working with singers is that the interesting thing about intersecting singing and speaking as a vocal coach is that primarily in the past, they've been separate, right? So I've found a way to bring them together. And the reason that I did is because the people that I taught, there's a lot of like software developers and people just, in everyday life, they're like, April, I just want to learn how to sing. So I'm like, okay. So I would teach them to sing, and they would come back to me and say, by the way, I, did some presentations and everyone told me that my voice sounded great. And all I could attribute it to was the fact that I'm taking voice lessons for singing. And I said, oh. And I kept hearing the same thing over and over. And I said, okay, there's something to that. And so I decided to do a training for everybody. And I have a book that I was writing for singing. And then I'm like, okay, let me write the speaker training book. And then I said, wait, let me write the book to help everyone understand why singing and speaking can intersect. So that's, and what I came to find out is that a lot of us just don't like the sound of our voices when we hear it recorded and played back to us. And I think that for everyone, like everyone's got a voice, everyone's got a sound. And, some people feel like that people with nice sounding voices should be the one to sing. And if I don't have a nice sounding voice, maybe I shouldn't be on a microphone. I just have what I have, but honestly, science doesn't back that up. And I was just on a podcast earlier this week and we're saying the same thing. It's like, you just got to learn to love the sound of your voice and then improve it. And there's a way to do that. So that's what the TEDx talk was about. And I'm like, let me just write a book about that. A real short, quick, fun read. So it's about finished. I'm literally going to sit over the weekend, this weekend, and finish it. So yeah, it's exciting.
Nice. I can't wait to actually check that out. And I have to touch on a few things because growing up, I had a huge stuttering problem, and those that were around me and my peers really just it was very difficult for me, short of saying that they were being very mean. And of course, kids can be mean, and it happened. But I learned how to, through a pathologist, thank God, she really helped me kind of segue out of stuttering, understanding that the thoughts come before the vocal and to really think it through before you say something. And that really something that my mom had told me my entire life. It's like, think about what you're going to say before you say it. Otherwise, it's going to come out wrong. And it did it. And then all of a sudden, here I am at the very end of my elementary school, years. I think it was 5th grade. And that's when you get into junior high school. Of course, that's probably middle school now and all that. But it was great because that enabled me and empowered me as a person to really stand up in front of the entire auditorium to let people know that I'm not stuttering anymore, that I can actually get through a sentence without stuttering. But when I would sing, come holiday season time, Christmas, things of that nature, I was really given the opportunity to put a mic in my hand, and for someone to actually put a mic in my hand and say, you know what, you're going to sing whether you like it or not, and you're going to stand there and you're going to finish the song until it's all done. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, you're putting me in front of my entire family and I'm supposed to sing for their pleasure.
That's a scary experience.
But you couldn't hear my stuttering or stammering vocally while I was singing. You could hear it when I was talking or speaking or being extremely verbose, right? That really kind of set the tone for the eventuality of finding who I was and what the sound of my voice was, as you very well described, at the age of, I don't know, it was 35, 36. And most people said, man, you have a great voice. I thought to myself, yeah, okay, whatever. You're trying to humor me, and I really didn't put that together. I didn't put those, steps down where I could actually walk up a flight without having that type of reinforcement. So I completely relate to that in every sense of the word. Hopefully the viewers will as well, giving their own inabilities to speak in front of crowds or be maybe nervous to actually. You had mentioned warming up, and I know it sounds so cliche and people don't really want to talk about it, but warming your voice up, you just don't wake up and sound like this. You don't wake up and sound like you. Camille doesn't wake up and sound like her. It takes a little bit of it takes a little bit of talking and speaking, and the fa, sol, ti, do, re, mi. So you take all steps.
There's some basic things that people can do every day to warm up their voice, and that's what's going to be in the book. But you had mentioned a second ago about the bullying thing and people making comments about how we sound. That's a real thing. And I coached a lot of show choir kids in the past. The #1 show choir in the country is John Burroughs High School Show Choir. They've been on Dancing with the Stars and the President and sang with Christina Aguilera. And like, they're an incredible power team of a show choir for high school kids. And let me tell you, there's some serious, being at the top like that, there's a lot of pressure. And so I really, and it's not just that situation, but other situations I encountered for people coming to me telling me, April, when I was in 7th grade, I sang in choir and my teacher told me that my voice didn't sound great or something happened and I just never sang. And now I'm like 35. I'm like, since 7th grade, you stopped singing completely. It's like these things stick in our head and they cause us to go, oh, you know what? I don't think I'm supposed to be singing. So I'm just going to leave that to somebody else who has a better sounding voice than me. And I'm like, excuse me, that's not correct. I mean, you can do that, but if you really want to sing, there's a way to learn to do it. And if you have a passion for it, what I have found is that passion doesn't go away. You can ignore it, but it's going to show up again. So why not just learn how to use it?
Sure.
So the way to learn to use it is to love it, to like it and go, okay, that's me. That's my voice. And a lot of the reasons why people don't like the sound of their voices is because they don't know how they sound. You know how you sound because you hear yourself on your awesome microphone every day, right? So you know exactly what that's supposed to sound like. But when you're not singing or speaking in a microphone and you're just being in the room or whatever, that's not what people hear, because inside your head, you hear something different. And that's the biggest issue.
True, exactly. And I believe that some people utilize the inability to have playback. So the playback is designed to hear where you're at vocally, whether you need help with your voice. I had to train my voice. I mean, I could do voices of cartoon characters. I can do a variety of things vocally. Why? Because I've trained myself as to how to do that. I've attended formal education as to how to do that and had studio time to help fundamentally help me recognize where I need to be from a range standpoint, from a decibel standpoint, and all the nuances that are associated with that. So I recognize that it took a long time. And my biggest inspiration to even wanting to do this, and where I have this Shure SM7B right here next to me, and I don't really speak about this a whole lot, but my aunt who passed away from cancer was the largest proponent of being able to find your voice vocally, understanding what that sounds like, how to become better, but most of all, the passion and desire to do it. And I mean, I didn't wake up with a mic in my hand. I didn't wake up sounding like this. I was the most oddest duck in school. Looking wise, my ears are bigger than my head, and everything else just kind of grew into it, right? And with that comes confidence that she instilled in me to say, you know what, you have a voice, just find it. And once you do, you'll never lose it. And that resonates with me to this very day. And that's what drives me and motivates me every single day. So when I get on podcasts like this one on TheRudeDogShow.com or any other podcast, and I go on them quite often on a weekly basis, I get my best vocally. But with that comes the entertainment factor. Speaking of entertainer, clearly, April, you are a huge entertainer. People may or may not know who you are, but they will hopefully by the end of this conversation. You can find her basically anywhere. You can go to aprildiamond.com. You can look at everything vocally that she has available for you to listen to. So with that being said, April, let's talk about a couple of these new, I don't want to say singles, because back in the day, singles were those things that just kind of, you gave someone a vinyl disc back in the 70s. Here, man, pop it. Let's it a single. But obviously a lot more different now when you can stream absolutely anything and everything at any given time whatsoever. Feels So Good and I Got a Secret are both on Spotify. I've had a chance to listen to both of them, and it's hard to pick a favorite. If I had to, it'd be very difficult to do. And of course, not only on Spotify, but all other platforms. But tell us about what it feels so good about making that song. What were the challenges that you faced in that song, and how were you able to how did you feel by the time it was all said and done and produced, and you got it to where you really enjoy listening to it yourself?
That's a great question. Feels so good. Pardon me. It's a great question. Feel So Good is really kind of a celebration of a journey, you know, to find the right situation, to find the right person, to find, you know, finding the right person that you're supposed to be with, but also finding yourself and really learning to just, you know, people say a lot of times, I don't feel good. I'm like, why not, let's change that and let's call it, you sing Feel So Good as many times over with the beat behind it, suddenly things are different. And I've always been committed to making happy, fun, pop songs that everybody can sing along with, because, you know, also as a vocal coach on the other side, I want everybody to sing. I want everyone to let their voice out, which is the name of my vocal training system, Let the Voice Out. But Feels So Good, my producer David Longoria wrote that song, and it's been a journey. We recorded it originally and then we redid it. It's just like all the other songs that we've done too in the past. When it's not quite right, then we're like, okay, let's make some adjustments. And it was adjusting. And then one day we hit the magical spot. You know, there's a lot going on in that song. There's a lot of vocal passes from me, and there's just a lot of there's a lot of things that we wanted to have the energy, and we wanted to have the power and passion behind it. And we wanted people to go, wow. And by the halfway through the song, we want you singing "Feels So Good," you know, over and over. And so now people are like, okay, by the time the song is done, hopefully you felt this way. You could sing that line, right? So it's a process of not just putting out a song to put out a song, but so people have an experience and they can sing along and feel the experience and feel what I'm feeling, and then in their own place in life celebrate. Yeah.
You know, when we celebrate, sometimes we don't necessarily think that what we're celebrating is worth celebrating, because maybe I got a secret and I want to celebrate what that secret like. Speaking of I got a secret, another song also on Spotify, the perfect, you know, if you had a song title, you could actually put those together. You know, I've got a secret and it feels so good.
Yeah, you could. You definitely could.
Tell me a little bit about I Got a Secret. Explain to those that, again, may not know you and will go and download your stuff from Spotify and stream it in their car.
Yeah.
Cruising along, and of course it's Friday, so why not get out there, go to Spotify, go check out Feel So Good, I Got a Secret. It should be streaming on all platforms right now. It is streaming on Spotify. Sirius XM is missing the boat unless they have a conversation with you. Just my thought process. So something about I Got a Secret that really kind of set the tone for your musical journey.
I Got a Secret was it's a combination of myself, both my producers at Delaware Music, and we were like, I said I have this story that I want to tell, and it's something I've never told. You know, when you I had a friend and we were friends a long time, and then you secretly have feelings for somebody. I say you, but me. And I was like, how do I tell this story? It wasn't I Got a Secret. Like Robert Ibach at my label, he helped me come up with the name, and David produced the track and everything. And I'm like, how do we tell the story about, excuse me, about me, understanding, you know, how do I, sorry, what's going on here? How do I tell the story about this person that I have a secret about, that I have this secret feeling about, but I've known them for years, right? And it's an awkward situation. And as we talked about that song, I said, you know, do a lot of people feel like this? Do a lot of people feel like, you know, after you've been friends with somebody for a long time and you want to cross over that line, you're like, who says it first? Do I just say it? Do I just blurt it out? You know? And so we were discussing the feeling and the emotion about that, and Robert's like, let's call it I Got a Secret. It's a secret. I'm like, oh, that's great. And then we came up with a beat and we just started playing with it. But the way that it turned out was fantastic, and I'm really proud of it, and it's a fun song. It's the first time I've been in Billboard magazine, and the Grammy preview at the end of last year, I Got a Secret, that was in there promoting the song, which is amazing. And so far the response to it has been fantastic.
I would say it's fantastic if it's up for Grammy consideration. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was
Best pop solo performance. So clearly there's something to be said, no pun intended, on I've Got a Secret. And it's not IVE, it's I Got a Secret, like I as an eyeball.
Sure.
There are a lot of I wish we had so much more time to go into this, but you have a streaming show, Live with April Diamond. That's interesting. And
yes, Live with April Diamond.
How do people get involved in that, and where can they connect with you and tune in?
Yeah, so I do Live with April Diamond on my social media platforms, and specifically on Instagram at April Diamond Music. And I like to interview people, kind of like you do, but I like to interview people, and then I like to go out and take people places. And so as of recent, I've been getting all these messages like, April, when are you going to do another driving video? Like, where are you going to take us next? And that's become really, like, people love that. So I'll be doing a lot more of that, and especially my upcoming 30 Days of April, which I do every year, where I go live every single day, and we have interviews and we go places, and Camille and I have a master plan to do some really cool things. But I like to specifically interview people, not just in music, although that's definitely part of it, but people that do incredible things that the world needs to know about. You know, there's a lot of people out there in the world that, you know, they do such incredible things and they don't really get recognized for it. Awesome people like Camille on here, and people that make all the incredible things happen that the world, yes, exactly, yay for you, happen, and they're behind the scenes. And if we didn't have those people, we wouldn't have amazing art and performances and, you know, technology, whatever it is, you know, amazing things. I was just having a conversation with my friend Brenda on Instagram, and she's a stunt woman. And I went to the SAG after party and met Dewey Beck, who is an incredible actor and stuntman. And she and I had a conversation. I was reminded of this because I interviewed her, and she like routinely jumps out of windows and fiery buildings. And I'm like, a day in the life of a stunt person. Okay, whoa. That's something most people would not even have the first, like,
that'd be
what? Fun. So, you know what I mean? So just incredible people. So that's what Live with April Diamond is.
Wow, that actually sounds pretty cool. I've always wanted to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. I don't know that I will, but I really have. And I'm 50, so if you can imagine, you know, this old timer who's never done it before jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. I don't know. I'm just saying that there's something to that. I may not look 50 genetically. Hopefully, when I'm 70, I look 50. So everybody can go to aprildiamond.com. You can follow all her socials. You know, you can jump into her Instagram lives. I actually had the pleasure of jumping into one, and thank you for all the love and appreciate it. And appreciate everybody following as well. For those that have followed, for those that haven't, shame on you. But you have every opportunity to do it. And that's daily. So
yeah, definitely. And let's also, I just want to shout out, because my team is incredible. I'm on about 5 national new music radio charts right now, which is unbelievable. And we did move up, and this is something I haven't posted, but I'm about to post that I entered the top 10 on 2 of them. 2 or 3 of them, I'm in the top 10.
Wow, woo! Congratulations. Very nice.
To Beyonce.
Next to Beyonce.
Next to Beyonce, you certainly have something to talk about. And you guys can always contact Camille for guest interviews, guest spots, kind of similar to this one. Do it in live or in person. And I think the next goal is a national anthem. And you know what's interesting? The Fresno Grizzlies here in the Central Valley are performing tryouts, as a matter of fact, for those that want to sing the national anthem. So just kind of put that segue out there for you.
Thank you, Rudy.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And if you need someone to record it on video and put it in 4K, I'm your guy. I can do that.
Hashtag that. Let's get that out there to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Everybody can go and find this interview. They can go to whatever platform they choose to go to. This will be on LinkedIn. This will be on X, formerly known AKA as Twitter. You can find it on LinkedIn. I'll post it there as well. Of course, Camille is on LinkedIn. She's not only the manager of this wonderful April Diamond, who's now the shiny and no longer in the rough diamond, along with everything else. So Camille, can you give the audience a little bit of an idea as to what you do and how you do it, and go from there?
Well, I work with a lot of celebrities, but we're also linked to a lot of TV, film, sports, Olympians. I mean, I've worked in sports as well. So we try to put a lot of PR out there for everybody. I keep in touch with Rudy. I keep in touch with about everybody, and we try to link everybody and network them. so that we can put everybody together. Because that way, if we can put everybody together, that way we can try to help everybody out as much as we possibly can, because that way there's more people getting out there together as much as we possibly can.
Oh, that sounds good. I think everybody would probably benefit in the biggest of ways to check out the management style, as well as Camille Matthews leading the entire thing. You're obviously going to be in great hands, as April Diamond is also in great hands and in a great position on the charts as well. So congratulations to you, April, in regards to that.
Thank you.
You're very absolutely welcome. Look, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I certainly want to thank you. April, where else can they find you on? I know we were speaking about X. Where can they connect with you?
Yeah, on X, on Instagram at April Diamond Music, on YouTube at April Diamond Official, which there are some new episodes of Live with April Diamond going up on YouTube. And you can find me on Spotify. Look up April Diamond. I'm on Apple Music, Tidal, all of them, all the streaming platforms.
She's on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, LinkedIn too.
Sometimes so many, and we're all connected to so many different places, it's hard to remember where we are.
Everyone has their specific place where they're like, is their focus, right? Everyone has their...
She's on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. I mean, we're all there. So yeah, and I essentially go live every day, and even in the month of April, the 30 days of April, tune in, because we have some fun, exciting things we're doing, and you guys want to be a part of it. And I do respond. That's the other thing too, is I do a lot of chats on my Instagram, Live with April Diamond especially, and I like to get to know the people that follow me, and I call them my follower family. So you are part of the family when you follow me, and shout out, say hello, and let me get to know you, because truly I like to get to know people on a real level.
Yeah, and I've seen all the shout outs that you've given all these various stations, and that could be a little bit confusing, because on iHeartRadio I give the station name, right? Like the one I'm covering, well, the two that I'm covering right now is 1090 The Patriot in Seattle, and then I cover KEIB, which is in LA, and they cover county and so on. Some very interesting stuff with the call letters, and can be quite confusing. But go to aprildiamond.com, check out their fabulous site, got great music. Everybody needs to check it out. Thank you so much for tuning in. April, Camille, thank you both. I appreciate your time. And
thank you, Rudy.
Check it out.
Thank you, Rudy.
Love it, and put it away. Thank you, ladies, and everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in.
You too. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.